Hey y'all, it's Maggie Kimbrell here with Realty. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I'm seeing in the market here in Birmingham, Alabama, as I have worked with buyers and sellers in this area. It's interesting, a lot of people have been kind of scared to buy or sell because of interest rates or the economy. We had a presidential race going on, as you know. All the things can cause people to be a little bit shy when it comes to buying or selling. Well, the interesting thing that I have found is that even though the rates are still holding higher, we're starting to see the market move much faster now with this season. So I think a lot of it is the fact that people have to move, right? Whether they're relocating, whether they need to upsize, downsize, they're getting married and they want to buy a house. People are going to have reasons to move no matter what's going on in the economy. But during this time of year, we usually see the market pick up quite a bit. And I have. So one thing that I've seen more first-time home buyers reach out to me looking to buy their first home, which is super exciting. I have seen more and more buyers looking for properties that don't exist. And what I mean by that is not that they're being unrealistic per se, but the inventory that we currently have is just hasn't normalized yet. Now, we are seeing more houses coming on the market, but it's still considered a lower inventory. So what does this mean for buyers and sellers in the Birmingham, Alabama area? Let me explain to you. First, we're going to talk about sellers. So if you are looking to sell and you want to sell your home in the Birmingham, Alabama area, and I'm referring to Shelby County, Jefferson County, Chilton County, Talladega County. I'm thinking all of like the greater Alabama, okay? If you're looking to sell in this area, one thing that I would say is now is a really, really good time. How many realtors have you had tell you, now's the time? Well, I really mean it. And this is why. Because like what I said earlier, there are a lot of buyers looking right now and they cannot find what they're looking for. If you have a home that checks those boxes, if you have a home that you've taken care of well, and it would be considered a desirable property, it's a really good time to sell because there are so many buyers out there looking and they're ready and they're pre-approved. And because of the way the market is and people have a timeline a lot of times with kids coming out of school and whatnot, you may see that you get multiple offers on your property. Home prices are projected to continue to rise. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk about recession and all that kind of stuff. I am not I can't read into the future. Nobody can, I don't care what they tell you. But as of now, home prices are still supposed to rise. So with that being said, you might get a really, really good price for your home. You might get a multiple offer situation. You might be able to get away with more in this market today because you're not competing with a bunch of other homes. Now, as more homes come on the market and there's more competition, it will likely decrease that ability for the multiple offers, maybe going over asking. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there's properties that just really hit it home with the buyers and still get that. But anyway, so as a seller, it could be a really, really good time for you to sell. We're still seeing people get very close to asking price. If your home is priced appropriately, not overpriced, if it's priced appropriately, we're still getting very close to asking price. Some people are getting over asking. So yeah, great time. Now, pivot to buyers. So if you are a buyer looking to be in this market, I know what I said probably was scary, and it is a good time to buy. However, there are those situations where you have to be ready. You have to be willing to put your best foot forward. This is not the kind of market where you can come in $20,000 under asking price, asking for all of the closing costs and, having a bunch of contingencies. You really need to be serious about your offers, put your best foot forward because you are competing with other buyers in this market. One thing that I would really suggest, if you don't have a realtor, of course I want to be your realtor, but if you have a realtor, make sure you come up with a good game plan. They can do some investigating. They can let you know what they're seeing with the houses around that home and what would be considered a strong offer for that home. So as a buyer, I would say be ready to put your best foot forward. Take it seriously because it tends to be more of a seller's market. You're likely competing with other buyers in the area, especially if it's a really desirable property. It does not mean that it's a bad time to buy. I will not say that because, like I said, home prices continue to rise. We are seeing interest rates kind of fluctuate. Don't know what they're going to do. They kind of decreased last week, then they're kind of up again. But as they say, which is really annoying, I know, but you date the rate, marry the house, because what we know is that home value is increasing. Equity that you build is so important in building wealth and growing growing just financially. Okay, if you're in the place to buy a house, not everybody is, but if you are, it's a great place to grow financially through home ownership and through buying a house that you know you're going to be in for a while and you can build some equity. With that being said, if the rates continue to drop, you will be able to refinance and get down to that rate. Whereas if you wait and wait and wait, home prices may continue to rise and you've missed out on some equity building that you could have done if you're ready to buy now, but that's holding you back. If you're not ready to buy now, I still recommend and you're wanting to in the future, I recommend talking to a lender and a real estate agent to get you set up on the path to success. Because for me, as your realtor, I am okay if you come to me and you say, look, I am not quite ready yet, but I need some guidance. I need some help. That is not considered a waste of time to me. One reason why I do this is because I genuinely want to help people. I don't want to just be like, turn my nose up to people that need help and they're not quite ready, because I remember being there myself and buying my first home or just moving into my last home before I was a realtor and just needing someone to be patient and walk us through the process and explain things to us and not push us if we weren't ready. Because I feel like when you get pushed into something and you're not ready, then that's also not a good thing, right? So it needs to make sense for you and for your family and for whatever season of life you're in. But what I will say is there's pros and cons to buying and selling in this current state, but I do see it as a good time. I feel like if you choose to buy now, you may miss. I feel like as things continue to get closer to summer, we're going to see more and more buyers and you might have more and more competition. But I could be wrong. That's why I like to do these little market updates and tell you what I'm seeing at the moment. But as we know, things can change very rapidly, just in our country with the economy and just everything. So that's why it's important to just stay up to date and make sure you're kind of keeping apprised with what things are going on, because some people are still stuck in the 2020 market where people were buying with no inspections and no appraisal. Well, we aren't there yet. We're not there, and I don't know if we'll ever be back there again. You know, if you're selling your house, you need to expect that the buyer is going to want to get an inspection. They're going to want to get an appraisal, all of those things. But we are seeing that the market is heating up in terms of more buyers looking. So that's a lot of words. That's why I'm making this a YouTube video for people that actually want to watch. But if you are in the Birmingham, Alabama area and you are considering selling or buying in this year or even beyond, and you just have questions and want guidance, I would love to help you. I'm going to put my contact information in the description. Again, my name is Maggie. I'm with ARC Realty and I'm passionate about what I do, and I would love to help you. Have a great day. Bye.